think we were expecting a lot more people to join us, but we'll look into that. All right, as we talk about Agile, we will be looking forward to grab some good skills and understanding about what exactly it takes to transform from a traditional approach to the Agile methodology. And most importantly, we'll be looking forward to understand that what exactly Agile is all about and why people are talking about it in a way that it is trending and helping people to develop their products in a much more faster and convenient. So before we get started, let me just quickly take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Neeraj Kumar Singh. I'll be your host here for this webinar, and we'll be looking forward to explain you more about what exactly the tools and in terms of Agile and other methodologies are. I myself have been certified with a lot of concepts, including tools like HP softwares, Microsoft, CSM, PSM, and ISTQB Test Professional as well. So before we talk about a lot of things about me, I think it should be a good time for us to look forward, because I will be sharing more as we continue and look forward to talk about the modules in more detail. So the agenda for this particular webinar is all about what is Agile, how does it work in real time, how is it different, and different in terms of how does it make a difference from traditional to the Agile methodology, what makes it different, and of course there's something called as Agile Manifesto about making it different completely from the traditional approaches, the different frameworks what we can make use of within the Agile methodology, and of course we'll be also giving you a quick outline on the tools for the Agile methodology. Then we can have some time utilized for your Q&A, and you can look forward to discuss and ask your questions, where I would be happy enough to respond back to them, right? In order to get started, what is Agile? I think it was a very simple way to relate things that today we are talking about the world where people are not ready to wait to get a solution immediately. Now, there are different examples of comparison between a traditional and the Agile methodology, what brought it up. Number one thing, the Agile approach is all about giving the freedom to our customer in a way that they can get involved, and we love to see what is happening on our product. In fact, the pizza stations today offers you a window where you can see how your pizza is getting developed or baked and then delivered to your table. Similarly, when I talk about one of the simple stories here, that there was a time when one of my friends gave me a call and said that, hey, I'm looking forward to have a product being developed by your team. And I literally look forward to understand his requirements, where he provided me a lot of information. And I told him, fine, thank you so much for all the requirements you have given to me. And now my team will look forward to work on it. He called me after a few months and said, hey, can I know what's the status on my project right now? Where are we and when can I expect it? I said, yeah, sure. As per the schedule, I told you that it will take 1 year of time to complete your project. But if you ask me something today, I think we just got started with design after completing the requirement gathering for the 3 months of time. And then design is being worked upon, and we don't have anything specific for you to see or understand. You may not understand anything given that you are not from a technical background, but our team is busy working on that. He said, sure, let me get back to you after some time. He got me back again after 6 months, and he asked me the same question, that can I have a look on how exactly my product is looking? And I said him that design just got over and my team is busy implementing it and writing some codes. It will be bits and pieces, and you may not be able to understand again what your product is all about. So give me some more time and I'll get back to you. Then after 9 months, I gave him a call rather and asked him, hey, you know what? Your product is almost ready. Please prepare your team to come down and do the acceptance testing, by which you can even interact with the system. He said, sure. When he came back after like 9 months and started testing the system, he realized that a lot of things were different than his expectations. Though I have been consistently sharing some reports with him, right? From the reports, it does not really make sense to him that what exactly the project was all about and how were you developing. I was all sharing with him was the progress status update. But when he looked at the product, he felt a little weird and said that, you know what, this is not exactly what I was looking for. And it's completely kind of like different from my expectations and not to the point. Now, that was something which I faced as a big challenge. And then I understood that what are the drawbacks of having traditional model, where traditional model never gave an opportunity to the customer to come and be a part of the development process and see it happening live in front of him in a way that he can or she can, whatever it is, like, they can interact, they can participate, they can have a quick demonstrations that what the team is doing, how the product is getting built up. And most importantly, there was lack of collaboration. Lack of collaboration in the sense the person who knew the requirement was kept away from the expectation or what exactly is being built. Now that was a biggest challenge what we face, that we must have something in terms of having that customer collaboration where somebody can tell us that what exactly are we supposed to do, right? Is that somewhere meant that our team was incapable of understanding a requirement and developing it? No, not at all. It was just that it is a human psychology that you cannot understand everything right by having some theoretical requirements. And this is where we really understand the lack of different traditional models, which did not involve our customers right till the moment when we were done with everything. So this is where Agile came into picture and took all the drawbacks. There were several drawbacks like the internal communication, external communication, time to market, because by that time when I released to him, he said, by now, I think there are a few other products in the market which are competing with me, and I don't think I can withstand. So there were a lot of such things which brought back together as drawbacks of traditional model, and I put all the drawbacks in a plate and turned it around and called it as Agile. Now that was the birth of Agile, where we just took all the drawbacks of traditional models and turned it around in a way that it sounds like something different. So what exactly we did in Agile? Let's have a word on that and try to understand. So most important thing, Agile has its own significance in a way that we try to break our complex things into more simpler modules or more simplified work products. So point is, again, even in your general life, you pretty much do the same thing. When you talk about your academics, when you talk about your education system, you do not take entire 4 years of engineering at one time to write the examination. You look forward to break that engineering of 4 years into 8 different semesters. Because if I tell you at any point of time that, hey, engineering is all about writing 64 examinations at the end of 4 years by going through 64 subjects, including some labs and theoreticals, people will give up right at the time of admission. They will not admit themselves to this course and academics. But if I tell them, hey, you know what, you do have 64 subjects to be completed in 4 years, but do it in installments of each semester. That every semester targets 6 theoretical and 2 practical subjects. And once you're done with that, you have a milestone achieved. And then look forward to the next semester, target another 6 subjects and 2 practicals, and you're done again. And we are just breaking your 4 years of academics into 8 different semesters. Now that sounded more interesting and people felt relaxed that yes, this can be achievable. But if I say 64 subjects in 4 years and you write all 64 examination at the end of 4 years, come on, I don't think I can remember everything, right? So simplifying the work was the first thing which we understood here, that if I break a complex job into simplified job, it makes more meaning. And at the same time, human psychology acts very interestingly to that. A human psychology is, in a way, gets kind of like, distracted by a load of work at the same time. In fact, calls it as complexity. The complexity of the work is very high, tends to do a lot of mistake. In fact, does not even have that visibility to what exactly they are making. But if that complex work can be broken down into very small pieces and chunks of work, then it would make more sense that yes, what I'm trying to make and how I can relate this to other small chunk of work. And putting up together, like step by step, you can build mountains together. Now that was something which we brought it right from the Agile itself. Now, of course, you start with breaking up your bigger chunk of work into simpler works, and then you size them. Size them is all about estimating them. Like we look forward that how much each of these item or work item would take to complete and achieve the goals right from the beginning. And then not only that, sizing is a different thing where you are estimating the amount of work required to be done, which includes all your effort, the time, and the amount of work to be done on that particular item. At the same time, we look forward to prioritize. There's a customer who is looking forward for a few things to see next, and I'm looking forward to have something of my own that, okay, as per the complexity level, this is what my sequence will be. It certainly does not make any sense, right? So in that context, we give importance to our customer that this is your product, what you want first, what you want next. You can go ahead and let me know, and I would be working on exactly the same thing, right? So there are few protocols which exactly are followed in the Agile methodology, where it helps the customer to be a part of your process, and at the same time helps us to break our complex works into simplified piece of work, and then look forward to start working on them. Working on bits and pieces, of course, will be easy enough to handle, and at the same time will be easy enough to push to the business in terms of like, hey, you can go ahead and review at least this part of it and let me know how is it going. And we consistently keep presenting to the business in a way that they can review the implemented part and look forward to respond us with the feedback or the changes they might be looking at. Now, this is what the Agile, how does it work in a way? Also talking about what makes Agile different, like from different other methodologies, was to bring up the simultaneous activities. As you just understood in that story, that the customer did not have any visibility to the product till 9 to 10 months. And of course, that had no clue what exactly is happening on my product. And there was a surprise for him after 9 to 10 months. In Agile, we just inverted or like tilted this particular angle or this particular stages of our regular activities into simultaneous. So instead of doing it like one after the other, we did it parallel. That means we take a small piece of work. Parallelly, we go ahead with analysis, design, coding, and testing, and this remains continuously sprint by sprint. Now, there are several things which we can talk about in more detail that what is a sprint? What do we do about it? So sprint is a short iterative cycle which picks up certain set of work items together and then tries to implement only those set of items in a bi-weekly sprint or bi-weekly iteration and then deliver it to the business in a way that you are presenting it that how this is your product is going to work. Then customer has a visibility right from the very first sprint, that means the first 2 weeks of the project, that what exactly the product is expected to do and how it is being built. If there are any deviations observed, we have customer interaction, we have customer collaboration through all the activities where we get to learn about what their expectations are. Now, in that context, it helps the team to understand the expectations every single sprint. And at the same time, they really have a great visibility to what are we making is built on a solid foundation. That means there is an approval, there's an interaction with the business, and the business can justify things that, yes, this is what we are looking for. Another important thing, what we observed here was the modifications. There might be possibilities where customer may have changed their mindset a little bit, that instead of having this feature on the left, can I have it on the right? And that is where we look forward to encourage such involvement of the business by having a business representative being a part of our team. Now, that's very important for any individual to understand that the person who is placing the order, if it is right next to you while you are preparing that order, is getting to know what exactly you're doing and can help you to add something or modify something and build the product the right way. For an example, we're talking about software development projects, which are very expensive. Even if you go to a small stall or restaurant, right, and you place some orders that, hey, I'm looking for this particular dish, and then you give your customization that please don't add salt, please don't add chili, and customizing your own dish. The person stands right next to you and has the freedom to listen to you that, okay, go boss, what do you want, don't want in this dish. Simple, right? You might be making any kind of dish and you're just letting them know, okay, I just want the spicy level to be mild, and please don't add tomatoes, don't add onion, and then make this. This is what I like. This is how I like it. Now, the shopkeeper will never say no to you, or that vendor will never say no to you. The reason is you are the person who are going to consume it. You're the person who are going to have this dish. And I have nothing to do is all to prepare as you want it or as you like it. Exactly the same. The Agile also gives the freedom to our customer that, hey, if in case on the way you think you like it something different, then feel free to add that as a modification step. And I would be more than happy to do what you like, right? Because you are the one who is going to use this product. It will be your audience will be looking forward to it. So we encourage collaboration of customers to do simultaneous modifications as well. That was another benefit which we had from it. While we were doing these parallel activities, we involved our customer to review them and let us know that what exactly they were looking forward to. There were many other benefits of the same thing, right? We built small and continuously because there was a target, in fact, right? We were supposed to complete the product well within a particular time frame. There's obviously a schedule which we have to achieve, and that's where we even understood that the build small part is not that going to be slow or for a particular interval. We will build small but continuously. I may not take 10 items at a time, but I will take 2 items every day so that I can build 10 items in a week and continuously. That means there are no deviations. You have a standardization in terms of number of items, what you are picking up, and then you will be having consistency of building up 10 items every week so that you have a consistency on completion as well. And there could be a projections from the business point of view that yes, the team is going consistent, and at the end, they would be looking forward to complete that. Another benefit of building small and continuously was to basically tell you that what exactly would be the increments. We observed that technically, when we added a bigger chunk of work to an existing piece of code, it generally broke. And we took longer duration to fix that particular issue. Because, of course, there was a bigger chunk of code added. So we don't have clue. We need more time to get into the root cause that what exactly caused the failure. Now, in this context, it really meant a lot when we said build small and continuously. That means build small piece of work and continuously keep adding to the existing, that even if anything fails, you know that you just worked on a very small piece of work and that would have gone wrong in a way. So there are many benefits in terms of working on building small and continuously, which again brought up all together that yes, Agile is helping the customers to gain visibility and gain a stable product step by step. Also talking about when you talk about roles in Agile, we say roles are blur. Now, why do we say roles are blur? Is that like we don't have a clear expectations from the people? Or is that we don't clarify people that what your roles in the team will be? No, it is purposefully kept as blur. That means we have a cross-functional team here in Agile, where we don't have exactly a dedicated portfolio defined for any individual. Moreover, we say that every individual is self-motivated and have the similar knowledge that what the product is all about. That means every individual in the team has capability of performing any activity which can happen on a product, right? From dev, PA, QA, or any other designer, etc. Right? An architect also knows what testing is. In fact, a tester also knows what configurations are we doing in order to build that platform or product. In that context, we do not give any kind of designation to the team in the Agile. We generally prefer that the team only get hired to work as a team, but every individual has equal responsibility towards building up the product. It's just that sometimes we dedicate in reality that the teams may have dedicated responsibilities like, okay, you four will be developers and you two will be a test engineer and there'll be two architects. But the point is, everyone has all the knowledge in the sense that tomorrow if developer wants can go ahead and perform the testing on the product. So we reduce the dependency. We reduce the dependency on a dedicated person. In fact, the team was capable to handle unforeseen situations. What if few of the members are not available? That does not mean that the project can go on hold, because we were talking about a very small and dedicated cross-functional team, hardly like 5 to 6 members or 9 to 10 members at most. And these 9 to 10 members are cross-functional in a way that they can go ahead and perform any activity. Thus, even if two people take off, they are very good at picking up the work from their board and take up as their own responsibility and look forward to that. The roles, again, that is responsibility. When we talk about the roles in fact did not have anything specific in a way that when you talk about a PM or a business analyst, right? The business analyst did not have anything in particular that, okay, you should be only doing this and nothing specific, right? So in that context, what happens is we are looking forward to understand that even a BA can step in and perform the necessary activities, what you may need to perform in order to achieve the goals of the sprint. So requirements can drive an individual to perform different activities in a way that we can achieve our desired goals right from this. But in traditional models, we had dedicated roles, and if that person is unavailable, then the team used to go on hold to wait for that person to come back, right? So that was another thing which was interesting about Agile in terms of understanding how the roles and responsibility were considered. Talking about some more things here, planning is adaptive. That simply says that the plan is not something which is rigid. We do not have a very well-detailed plan defined in the beginning, and people have to adhere to that. Okay, it simply means that when reality disagrees with their plans, agilists find it easier to change their plans than reality. They call this as adaptive planning, which simply means that a plan is of no use if it does not meet the desired expectations. Again, coming back to the same point, that is desired expectations. We are looking forward to understand one thing here, that a plan is only useful if it delivers what we have committed. So a plan can be done in installments also, because we are working on short iterations, and it certainly makes a lot of sense that what the team is expecting at any point of time, right? So plan is adaptive. That means if the reality is something different, the customer is looking forward to reprioritize some of the work items which they are looking forward to have earlier, then it certainly would make no sense that you are following a hardcore process, which does not make any sense, right? So in that context, the team will look forward to have better visibility to what the business is looking at, and we can look forward to make their own plans than the reality. So plan is not something which is fixed. In a way, the team will look forward to have something what the team or customer is expecting and to build that up. Scope can vary. In Agile, we do say that the scopes are not so much fixed. We may look forward to understand the customer's shoes and ask them to say, what exactly do you expect in the system? So by fixing time, budget, and quality, and being flexible around the scope, Agile teams maintain the integrity of their plans, work within their means, and avoid the burnout, drama, and dysfunction traditionally associated with our industry. That means we are not just rigid on anything specific. Yes, of course, you keep your fixed time, budget, and quality of the work to be provided, or the end goals, right, as a part of it. Then we look forward to have the definition of scope, which can vary depending on the expectations of the business and what they would look forward to have. In this context, we say that scope can be varied depending on the expectations of customer. Also, requirements can change. As you saw that we discussed a little earlier, that the team can look forward to have better visibility to what exactly is their current need. It might happen that a customer can think of few of the things right from the beginning, but as they start looking at the product, as the product evolves right in front of them, they may understand that they have certain different expectations sometimes. So we welcome changes. In Agile, we look forward to encourage our customers to be open enough to share their changes or any modifications which they would like to make in the product, because at the end of the day, it is your product and it has to be fulfilled. If you don't like anything specific, probably what you told me earlier, you can look forward to go ahead and make the changes. As far as it is applicable, we will look forward to implement it but there might be certain challenges sometime, and we may let the customer know that what could be the limitations of making such changes, or what could be the side effects of such changes. But we always welcome the changes from the business in a way that we can address all their expectations and fulfill their needs. Now, in that context, we say that traditional models were restricted for any kind of changes, but Agile welcomed the changes from the customer, meeting their expectations to the point at any point of time during the entire life cycle. Now, coming to the summarization of these things, what we just discussed, we call this as Agile Manifesto. In 2001, a group of individuals representing the most widely used lightweight software development methodology agreed on a common set of values and principles which basically came to known as the Manifesto for Agile Software Development, or in simple words, Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto consists of 4 core values, which is individual and interaction over process and tools. The individual and interaction simply means that we are talking about giving importance to our team members, like what kind of team members do you have, and interaction among them, which traditional models did not cover or did not agree to a certain extent, where they gave more importance to the processes and the tools, which was something very rigid, that, hey, we have a standard process and we make use of, expensive and complicated tools, which adds no value if the product is not going to be built, right? What if you have the wrong people in the team? Wrong people in the sense like people who are not qualified to do that particular work, or people who are not experienced enough to take up the responsibilities of implementing something. That's what we are referring to, the wrong people, or I might say other way around, that not the right people for that particular project. So shortlisting the right people who are self-organized, self-motivated, and ready to work in a team, collaborate together and help each other is what we prefer more than following a standard process and showcasing expensive tools. The teams must be interactable with each other and look forward to communicate the findings in a way that it makes a lot of sense. Also talking about the second one, it says working software over comprehensive documentation. If I tell a project or the business that I was using my 3 months of time to write lengthy and detailed documentations, and I have no updates for you, where is my project as far as the 3 months are concerned, then the answer would be, that doesn't make sense to me, right? A business or customer would say that, okay, so you mean to say 3 months you were just busy writing some documentations and there's no progress on my project? Answer is yes, of course. So Agile gave importance to working software as the primary measure of the progress. It said that if you have not implemented anything in this sprint, then you have not progressed at all on the project. Anything meaningful which is developed is only the primary measure of progress. Number of days, number of artifacts prepared is not something which would tell a customer that we have been progressing with the project. Rather, a working piece of code will only be the primary measure to measure the progress over comprehensive documentation. So that's the reason in Agile, we preferred having lightweight documentation instead of wasting our time writing lengthy documentation, but rather prefer to use that time to build the product and showcase to the customer. Because there's no point writing certain documentation for 6 months and have no progress on the product in a way that meets the expectation of the customer. In that context, it certainly did not make any sense. Talking about customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We bring our customer to our environment. We make them feel home. We make them feel that, yes, be a part of what we are doing and see yourself that how we are trying to implement it. Now, the other benefit of having customer collaboration, right, is of course to let them point out if there are any deviations. At the same time, let us know more about the requirement. Don't forget, in the previous manifesto item, we said over comprehensive documentation. That means we prefer the lightweight documentation in Agile instead of creating a lot of documentations. Then the question was, who would answer, okay, our questions regarding the requirements? So we said one of the representative from the customer will be a part of the team, consistently available with you all the time, just like a team member, helping you understand, helping you implement things in a way that, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't like. Can you change this to the side, or can you move the coordinates, etc.? So simultaneous modifications and getting all the clarity about the requirement, that what exactly a user would tend to do here. So a customer collaboration was involving customer within our project rather than keeping them away with contract negotiation. We say that contract negotiation is done, or negotiation is done with people whom you don't want to keep relationship with, right? You generally go to shopping, you talk to the shopkeepers, you negotiate with them because they are not your relatives, they are not your family members, and you negotiate with them because it's a one-time work with you. I'm just buying something and I'm never sure if I can come back to you or not. But with your relatives, with your family members, you don't have anything called as negotiation. Rather, you have collaboration. You try to understand each other and see what best can be achieved as a family or together. The same way here, we bring them together in a way that, hey, feel home, be a part of us, see what we are trying to do, why are we trying to do, and if there's anything which is not happening as per your expectations, we would be happy to change our plan and do it according to you, right? And the last but not the least, responding to change over following a plan. A plan is all good for nothing if it does not meet the end goals of the customer, right? You might have created a well-defined plan, but as per the plan, few things are going to happen later in the life cycle. But the business had the curiosity to understand or see what exactly is happening if this gets implemented now. And told them that this thing is going to happen after 3 months, so wait for it, right? So in that context, responding to change, or saying that, okay, let me just reprioritize it, right? I had a plan that I'm going to pick up these 20 items for my next sprint, but as you want something else to be prioritized, it's all your product. We will just pick up what you want to see next. So we allow them to go ahead and make the changes and reprioritize their work items, and we pick up according to whatever they decide. So giving that complete freedom to the business has given them a complete delightful experience of being a part of the software development lifecycle. More importantly, they do not feel that they are outsiders. They always be a part of it. They know what the challenges are. They know what the team is stuck with, what approvals we need to provide. There are a lot of things which we got faster with, like we don't have to wait for longer customer approvals. They are right there next to us and they can just say, yes, go for it, right? And at the same time, they see what their product is all about. So deviations were less. We were building the product which would meet their end goals in a way that they are trying to let us know, right, at every single point, that how we are getting there or how we are getting deviated from the expectations. So put together, these four core values brought our Agile Manifesto or Agile methodology that whole world is looking forward to adapt it because it's faster, it has less documentation, and it has a great collaboration with the customer to understand what are we exactly expecting. Also to talk about, there are a lot of things which people might hear under Agile. People may say that, okay, I heard of something called as Scrum. Okay, I also heard something called as Kanban, or I heard of something more about it. So what exactly is Agile and what are these things? Are they different? Okay, so Agile is basically a methodology and has different frameworks. The word Agile meant flexibility. It simply means that teams are free to roll out their own standards the way they think it is going to fit their purpose and implement the methodology as it meets their expectations. So people are free to modify certain aspects of Agile in a way that it fits their project, because industries are different and industries are distinct according to their product. Simple, right? You do not work on an automotive application the way you work with an e-commerce website. In that context, a different framework was established every time different industry tried out Agile methodology. And they gave it a name. And some of these names became very much standard. That means a lot of people started making use of it as a standard approach under Agile, right? So the base fundamental remained the same. We are going to have these four core values. And beyond these core values, you could have more different activities and processes which might be required to be done. So for example, the most popular one, what we have today is Scrum, which has its own ability of using time boxed iterations to build smaller chunk of work at a time. We had extreme programming, we had dynamic system development method, feature-driven development, adaptive software development, the crystal method, lean software development, disciplined agile, scaled agile framework, and rapid application development. Put together, there are many more, but of course they are not in the list because they are not so popular as of today. But the point is, these are altogether 14 frameworks which we have under Agile, which people are using as of today as a standard approach or framework within Agile. Of course, if you want to know more about it, we can look forward to that in our other sessions. Right now, we're just giving you an outline that what exactly the frameworks are all about. Finally, also telling you a quick outline about that what kind of tools can be used for Agile methodology. Are there any tools? And if there are any, how does it make sense to the Agile methodology? Yes, of course. There are not many tools which can adapt and help implement Agile methodologies in the world today. But there are few which are very much specialized in a way that whatever you learn theoretically about Agile methodology can very well be covered practically as well. And one among them is Jira. Jira is a product of Atlassian, and it is specially designed to support the Agile processes. How? Because of its abilities. Look at all the salient features here. The Jira is a fully customizable tool. Now, the word fully customizable simply means that it is fully customizable. You can just change it or transform it the way you want to use that tool. And again, there are different variants of it to cater the needs of the Agile frameworks. We have Jira Software, we have Jira Product Management, we have Jira Align, and we do have Jira Service Management, but not for Agile, right? So 3 different variants dedicatedly created only for Agile, which is Jira Software, Jira Product Management, and Jira Align. Jira Software is for all other methodologies. Jira Product Management is for overall product management, and Jira Align is specially built for SAFe, Scaled Agile Framework. Jira is also an independent tool. It can be used with any operating system. That means there are no restrictions where you can install it. Jira is a multilingual tool, just like your Facebook, Google, etc. You can localize these tools and use it the way you want it. Like you can feel personalized there. There are many languages which are supported. Some of them are English, French, German, Spanish, Japanese, etc. Jira again supports any sort of database, which makes it unique. There are no restrictions that what kind of backend database you can use with the tool, and gives you freedom to roll out this tool for your Agile methodology. Also, Jira can be run locally in your premises or can be used as a part of data centers of Atlassian, which is a cloud instance of Jira. And Jira Software, of course, is an Agile project management tool that supports any Agile methodology, be it Scrum, Kanban, or it's your own unique flavor, which is combination of traditional or Agile methodology. So in a way, there are tools also to support you build and set up that entire environment, what you may need to perform Agile practices. Now, given that we have understood what exactly, as an outline, as an overview, what Agile is, we may look forward to understand more details about the same, and we can help you here, right? So I think that's all what I had from my side of it. Now, I would be really interested to hear back questions from all of you. If there are anyone, feel free to drop them on the chat or just unmute yourself and let me know what do you think. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
My name is Aarti, and my question is, can you just put some focus about Jira Align, because I am currently certifying myself for Safe Agile. So, is Jira Align completely different than Jira, which we use for Scrum, or does it add any extra features than normal Scrum and Kanban boards? Could you please put some focus on that?
Of course, given that you are SAFe certified, then you pretty much understand the difference between Scrum and SAFe. Scrum is more of like time box, small iteration based approaches, and SAFe is more of like powertrains. And we are talking about the PI plannings and picking up the items right from there, right? So in that context, scaled agile framework was specially built for or Jira line was specially built to accommodate the exact activities of the SAFe as a practice. So there we have different boards, of course, not exactly the ordinary Kanban board. And more of that, we have the features, we have specific like PI planning trackers, the outlines, and several other things, right? All that put together in a way that it completely implements what you do theoretically or what you learn theoretically in the SAFe in the tool itself directly, right? So it's not just like, I would say, Jira software and Jira line are completely different from each other. And this is the need and expectation of SAFe.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Any other questions from anyone?
Neeraj, Jwalin this side. So I work as a product owner for Voice. Okay. So my question is, like while gathering the requirements and preparing the scope and all, one practical problem we do face is there is a change in scope itself while we are running a particular sprint, right? So because of that, the entire timelines change, and accordingly, the delivery fail as it was planned. So when we say agile is adaptive, is this a behavior in the agile which is expected, that we need to be flexible with the scope, or is it that we have to freeze the scope right at the start as we do it for the sprint, right? So for sprint, we can't change the plan once we have done it, right? So is that true for scope as well, or we have to be flexible with the scope?
Okay, so you see there are three parameters here, right? We have the budget, we have the time, and we have the scope. So any of these parameters can be kept frozen, and other two can be kept frozen and one can be flexible. So you can say my scope and time is frozen, and the cost could be something which I can eliminate here. Let's talk about scope and time, right? Which are the two major contributing factors in a way that how you run a project and achieve the goals at the deadline. So if I keep the scope frozen, I have the feasibility of, flexible on the time part. And if I keep the time frozen, then I have the flexibility to change the scope. So we need to discuss with the business that what is that we want to freeze here. And then they will understand, okay, I'm flexible on time, but the scope is frozen. That means this is what we want to implement, but whatever it takes, how long it takes to implement that scope, please go ahead and do it. Second thing is other way around, which means that I've kept my time frozen, but in this time, I can keep changing my scope, but this is the deadline. I have to achieve this and complete it, right? So any one has to be frozen, another can be flexible, but we need to understand from the customer that what they are more curious about in a way that they would like to have it flexible, or what they are flexible at and what they want to keep it as frozen, but both cannot be frozen. You cannot change the scope as well as keep changing your timelines, which is not recommended.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you. Anyone else has any other question here? All right. If there are no more questions, you can look forward to, of course, reach out to us for more details about such webinars, or in case you're looking forward to have any formal trainings about the tools or the process, you can obviously go ahead and the website to know more about it. Sorry, Aarti, you had any question?
No.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I have a poll here, so it would be great if all of you can answer. I'll just launch the poll. You'll be able to see 3 questions. It will hardly take, 10 to 15 seconds of your time.